We gonna look at the Lindell 50 series API console emulation, 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 emulation. We gonna look at the American Class A Sawtooth API console emulation, 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 and then we gonna look at the UAD API Vision Strip console emulation, 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 emulation. Now give me some music, give me some music, give me some music, give me some music. Yeah, 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 yeah. And we gon' look at some AP console emulation, emulation. Now give me some music, give me some music, give me some music. Yeah, yeah, yeah. What's good with y'all, people? Man, what's good with y'all, man? I'm clowning around with y'all, man. What's good, man? Today we're gonna look at this new plugin, man. Lindell 50 series from Plugin Alliance. It is a API console. We have another console emulation, and I like what Plugin Alliance does, and they have emulated the API console, man. So check it out. This is something that Plugin Alliance and the company Lindell decided to collaborate and come up with a plugin to represent that as well, man. But the only other brand that actually have the official logo on it is the UAD, which is this right here from API. I guess they got an endorsement, or UAD has an endorsement from the official API or whatnot. So we'll be comparing the sound of this versus this right here. And Sawtooth has their own version as well, man. This big old Jewy, man. This big graphical user interface is huge, man, and you can't scale it up and down. But this is their version as well, so we'll be comparing the sound to that as well, man. Let's talk about this plugin right here, man. Again, API console emulation. You have an input gain. Nah, this is not a preamp. Don't get this confused with a preamp like it is on the Vision Strip from UAD. This is just a signal input knob. So if you got too much signal coming in, you just turn it down, and vice versa, you turn it up. All right, cool deal. Now you have a high pass filter right here with a variable frequency selector or knob or screw knob or not. All right, let me turn this beat down just a tad bit for you guys. All right, so you have this high pass filter you can choose. All right, you press the button or left click the button and it'll illuminate red, and you can choose and own in on the frequencies you want to scoop out. Okay, you can go up all the way to 1,000 cycles for the slow folks. That's 1,000 hertz. All right, cool deal. You have a negative 20 dB pad, and then you also have this little screw knob right here. That's you can add in a little bit of flavor, man. Some total harmonic distortion right here. All right, now that's and I'm gonna explain everything to you for signal flow. You have the input section. We're gonna flow into the EQ. All right, so let's talk about the EQ. This is a 4-band API emulated EQ. This is the 550B, a replication of the 550B API EQ. All right, 4 bands. All right, and I already have the set for our sound test. All right, but you got 4 bands. Right now we have it set up on step or fixed, parameters or whatnot. But the gains, these white knobs are the gains. We can have these continuous, so they don't have to be in step or fixed feature. Okay. But the frequencies, no matter if you change it to continuous or step, these frequencies by default, and you can't change it, is fixed or stepped. Okay. This is how you turn the EQ module on and off. Hitting this button right here, you'll see it blink red right there. Cool. The other thing to take note of is when these buttons right here are pressed in and they turn from a white to kind of like a grayish. Right now they're gray. They pushed in. These are low shelved. When you push them out and they illuminate kind of like a whitish, creamish looking color, they're a bell shape. Okay, so low shelf pushed in, bandpass, or They say bandpass, but I think it's a bell shape. You know what I'm saying? So bell shape EQ curve when they pushed out, low shelf and high shelf when pushed in. So that's that EQ section. That's the 550B. Okay. Now let me go here and show you guys another plugin, another module. That is the 550A. Now this is built into the channel strip. You don't have to get another plugin, and if you want to utilize the 3-band EQ emulated from API, you can just basically hit this drop down menu, choose the 550A, and it'll change. And this is the 3-band. Same thing here. On off button here. Push in for bell curve, push in for low shelving, all right, or high shelving. Fixed frequencies, step, or continuous frequencies, and you have to choose that in the menu in the top right corner. All right. Now this right here, this adjusted it from I forget how they said that. This filter switch. Let's go to the menu. Let's go to the menu. This filter switch enables a bandpass filter. Okay. But it doesn't tell you what frequencies is going to be the bandpass filter. Okay. So I'm assuming because it's right here at the bottom, the bandpass filter would be from on the low frequency range or the mid frequency range or the high frequency range. I don't know. It doesn't clarify that. But I'm assuming it'll affect the low frequency range. So if it's like that, if it's the switch is pointed to the right, you're in bandpass mode. I wouldn't even mess with that, to be honest with you, because there's the manual done is it just says enable a bandpass filter. That's not clarification for moi. So you know what I'm saying? Word to you. Don't even mess with that. Just mess with your parameters, your gains and your filters, and also your bell or low shelving or bell or high shelving buttons right here. All right, cool deal. So that's a quick run on those two EQs. But wait, there's a third EQ built into this channel strip as well, and that's the 560 EQ. All right, and right here you'll see this 560 EQ. You can turn it on and off, and then you have this graphic EQ. Lovely display. And I did a little sound test before I got in here, and this is killing the Waves version. Okay. And also the IK Multimedia version. I forgot about IK Multimedia. But they don't have they have theirs in individual components and not bundled in the channel strip. So I'm not gonna, you know what I'm saying, deal with IK Multimedia. I don't even have them, to be honest with you. But I have tried them, and this sounds hell of a good, man. So that is the 560 EQ, graphic EQ or whatnot, built in. So you have 3 different EQs you could choose from. All right. All right, cool beans. Let's go check out the compressor section. Now the compressor section is kind of common on all 3 of the channel strips we're gonna review today. A VCA compressor style API compressor. Okay. Just to kind of go through, starting from top to bottom, you have a threshold knob. And all of these parameters, I don't think they are stepped. So this is all variable. Okay, all variable. All right, so a variable threshold, variable makeup gain, step attacked, and I want to touch on that. So this is a step attack, a step ratio, variable release, and this link button only applies for like if you're doing sidechain and stuff or whatnot. You could read the manual if you want. I could show you. I mean, shit, you know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing to show you, but it says at 0%, each channel is compressed independently. At 100%, each channel sees the same mix sidechain. Okay, so long story short, just keep it at 0 because you probably won't even need to. Or whatnot. But let's talk about before we get into that, you have a button right here. When it's lit up green, it's a soft knee. When it's not lit up green, it's a hard knee. Okay, soft knee green, no green, hard knee. All right, and you have a feedback mode, and when it's not lit up green, it's feed forward mode. Okay, so feed forward mode is not lit up in green. Feedback mode is green. Okay, and this little yellow button right here is called Nouveau. Okay, this is basically kind of like a sidechain filter built in, so anything below the low frequencies that it's already fixed to is not going to be compressed. Anything above that is going to be compressed. Don't believe me? Let's pull up the menu. Nouveau, NIV, the yellow knob, adds a filter on the sidechain to compress less the low. Okay, adds a filter on the sidechain to compress less the low frequencies. That don't even make sense. Whoever wrote this, they need to get their English right. Adds a filter on the sidechain to compress the low frequencies and more of the high frequencies. This helps to keep a natural frequency response after compression. They butchered that sentence. Y'all need to work on y'all grammar, man. Whoever wrote that, they need to fix that. But it's like what I said. You know, anything below the low frequencies, it's not going to compress. Anything above that, it will compress. But you don't know what the frequency is. So mysteriously, you know what I'm saying, if you're working with drums, this might be good for you, okay? Or whatnot. But yeah, and this is the on and off button for this compressor module. All right. Let's talk about this stepped attack versus the variable release. Now, why the release is not variable, it's to give you a different flavor of compression. Okay. With my knowledge of compression, is like they want you to go into these fixed attack times so you can get different flavors of compression coming in. Once you're starting to gain reduce at your given dB and you got your ratio going on or whatnot, whatever that may be, you can now have a variable release to kind of like have more flexibility of when the compressor will release the signal. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So it gives you more flexibility on the release, but they want you to come in and be, you know what I'm saying, very fixated on how much signal you want to be compressed, and you have more control on the release. So that just kind of gives you a little bit more flexibility on the dynamic characterization that you're controlling or taming with compression. Okay. All right, so that's the VCA compressor, and this red knob up here is going to be your makeup gain. All right, there's no dry wet mix knob on here, so whatever you putting in here is going to be the full effect. Okay. If you want something of a dry wet mix knob, you probably have to take advantage of this yellow button. Again, the yellow button, when it's pressed in, anything below the given low frequency that's built in is not going to be compressed, and anything above that will be compressed. So that's all you got to work with when it comes to dry wet mix. You know what I'm saying? We're going to move on to checking out this other compressor. Now, this is unique compressor. Okay. Very unique. By default, it's going to be on 4 on the ceiling. Okay. But let's get back to why this thing is unique, because and I got these two modules because see, on the UAD version and on the Softube version, and I never seen this particular FET style compressor on neither of these channel strips or any channel strip that I could think of. It may be another one out there, SK Note, if I'm not mistaken, but you have a FET style compressor. Okay. This is pretty cool because you can come in and you have a dry wet mix knob. So now you can do parallel compression built into the module. You also have a high pass filter, which you can kind of set the frequency. And let's say, for instance, we have it set on 179 hertz. Anything below 179 hertz is not going to be compressed. Anything above 179 hertz will be compressed. And you can also blend in the compressed signal with the dry signal as well. So it gives you a lot of flexibility with the black knobs. The blue knobs is going to be like your 1176 style type of compression. You're going to drive in the signal like so. You're going to drive in the signal, you know what I'm saying, to get more compression coming into the module. And then you'll kind of compensate the gain on this output knob right here. Okay. Now you got a unique representation graphic gain reduction. That's old school right there, boy. That's old school. Whatnot. Now let's talk about the yellow, these white buttons and these black buttons. The white buttons are different release times that you will have to deal with. So these are fixed. You can't go in here and make changes to the release time. They're either going to give you 0.1 second or 1 millisecond of release time, or you get 5 milliseconds of release time. Okay. And you got a secondary button right here. And when that is engaged, that disengage that fast release time, and you go into more of a slow release time at 2 seconds. And that's it. So you really, in essence, got 3 different time constants of releases. 1 millisecond, 5 milliseconds, or when you press both of them in there, you get, if the two button is pressed by itself, you get 2 seconds of release time. If you press the 1 simultaneously, you get 2.5 seconds. So you can get really, really slow, or if you depress all the white ones, you can get really, really fast. I like that. That's different. I like that. All right, so this button right here is the de-esser button. So now that kind of throws the compressor into a de-esser, so to speak, okay? And you can still adjust your release times as well. It just throws the compressor to react as a de-esser as well, man. Cool deal. Now this button throws the plugin off. So when you hit the button off, it puts the compressor in the 1-to-1 ratio mode, and you're not gonna get any compression going through here at all. It's just an off switch, okay? No pretty red LED you gotta deal with. Just push that in, it's off, okay? But if you want that ratio, let's see here. You got 2-to-1 ratio with the first black button. If you press the second black button, you get 20-to-1 ratio. Let's see what happens if you press the top one while this one is pressed down on the second one. It's either or. Interesting. Yeah, it's either or. You're either going to get 2-to-1 ratio, or you're going to get 20-to-1 ratio. So basically you got a compressor with a fixed ratio, and then when you hit this button at 20-to-1, it throws the compressor in more like a limiter or all buttons pressed. That's what it's telling me. You know what I'm saying? At 20-to-1, that's all buttons pressed, damn near. You know what I'm saying? So pretty good. 2 ratio modes, 2-to-1, 20-to-1, one representing compression and another one representing a limiter style type of compression as well, man. Cool deal. And this red knob is interesting. So what happens is, if this is set on 0, you're really not going to get the compression effect, so to speak. I kind of played around with it earlier, or whatnot. You're not gonna get any response, no matter how much input gain that you drive into here utilizing this blue button. You ain't gonna get nothing. Once you put it on 2, you'll start to hear the characteristics of the compression kick in. Okay, and you put it on 4, it'll really crank up, and I haven't even pushed it to that level. You just gonna get some. That's when you start. Once you pass 4, you start getting in more of a creative compression style of whatever you're trying to do. But for more traditional, I think 2-to-4 is gonna be good on your ceiling. And what this button is doing is giving you more compression and also making up the gain. So as you increase, you'll increase in compression, but it'll also automatically turn up the gain without actually having to turn up the gain up here on this blue knob. It's weird why they had that. I'm not exactly sure. Not too fond of, I don't have too much experience on this style of API compressors. I have seen this in a hardware form, but I'm not too versed in it. But let's go to the menu. Let's fact check ourselves, because I don't want YouTube police or the YouTube trolls coming on here and bothering me or whatnot, man. But it says right here, for the ceiling, increases the amount of compression and the makeup gain at the same time. Okay, so as you drive more, this red knob in is going to give you more compression, but also turn up your signal at the same time. All right, cool deal, man. So that's that with the compressor. For the channel strip, you get 2 of them, FET or VCA style. Pick your poison, whatever sounds good on your source. Last but not least, man, we have a gate section right here. We have the hysteresis, whatever the hell that is, and I'm gonna tell y'all about that. let's go to the section. Let's go to the manual. Okay, so the NOR gate is hysteris. A hysteris? Okay. It says the gate will open when the levels reach the threshold plus 0.5 times the hysteris and close again when the level gets below the threshold minus the 0.5 times the hysteris. Bruh, I don't know. When I use it, and I'm kind of familiar with it because they have this particular feature on pretty much on all of Plugin Alliance's channel strips. It ain't nothing but a dry wet mix knob for your gate. That's how I perceive it. You know what I'm saying? You may have your own definition on what it is, but to me, when you bring it over this way, you just get different. You get a blend of how much gating is being occurred at that particular time. Okay, but for me, I keep it at 0 because I want the full effect and of gating and or whatnot. But you can put it on this default situation at 4 and just let the gate do what it do. You know what I'm saying? You don't necessarily have to use this, but you know what I'm saying, if you're gating like acoustical drums like you hear in the back, and you need to take out some of that extra stuff in the drums, this is where this will come useful at, because if you're getting a hard gate, you can kind of blend in some of that sound bleed into the processor to allow a little bit more signal to come through the gate. Okay, so to me, it ain't nothing but like a glorified dry wet mix knob for a gate. Okay, but we're gonna keep that at default. This is a threshold button, variable. You have your range for the gating range. It can extend all the way down to 60 dB. Okay. Most common values at a gate range is around 40 dB. You know what I'm saying? But it all depends on what you're trying to do. And also you have a variable release time for your gate. You have a fast and a slow attack button. So slow is not going to be lit up in green. But if you want a fast attack time, it's definitely going to be lit up in green. Then you have an expander, or you can go to gate. So expander, green, gate is not green. And you also have inversion, and you can turn this bad boy on and off right here. And you have a fader. Nice, beautiful, big old fader. You know what I'm saying? And then this cut button right here. If you don't understand old consoles and what the terminology means, cut just really means it's muted. Okay, so you can mute the signal without having to mute the DAW mute button. Okay, so if you need to mute this out and mute it back in, it's good. I would find this useful if you just need to reset your ears to the signal coming through here. You're not gonna hear anything coming through this channel strip and then bring it back in. So it's almost like a refresher button, you know what I'm saying? And also you have a phase inversion button as well. So that is the plugin in its entirety as well, man. So what we're gonna do is gonna put that back on my settings that I had, and we're gonna do some sound tests. All right, so that is the Lindell. Again, I have the soft tube right here, and I have all these parameters preset and ready to go to do some sound testing or whatnot. So that's the sound tube, soft tube, American Class A API console emulation, and also you have the big daddy, the granddaddy, the motherfucking man, UAD, the UAD API vision strip, man, endorsed by API themselves, man. So this is probably gonna be our best best emulation of the API. I can't talk today, but our best representation of the API from UAD right there. So let me give you a little backstory on what's going on. Okay, so that's the API from UAD. This is the Lindell, okay? That's the Lindell right here from Plugin Alliance. Y'all see they logo, you know what I'm saying, right here, the bottom corner right here. And then we're gonna pull up, God, oh, that's a big old Dewey, man. Let me go ahead and scale this Dewey down so I can make room for that big old soft tube Dewey. Try to make this one the same size as the UAD. All right, cool. That's roughly about the same size right there. So we're gonna throw that bad boy right here. We're gonna get that big dog, soft tube, big dog. Yeah, I'm gonna hide you underneath my picture right there. We're gonna keep you right there, you hear me? Cool deal. So yeah, so that's the soft tube right there. Let's bring this back. All right. I want you guys to pay attention to the Ableton Racks down here. You know, again, this is the Lindell. This one right here is the soft tube, and this one on the end is the UAD. So plugin alliance, Lindell 50 series feature plugin right here, the soft tube in the middle, and UAD at the end. We're gonna do some sound tests. I have all of these set up. So if you're trying to figure out, well, how do you have it set up there, buddy? Well, all of the EQs are basically the same. When I'm doing the sound test, they're basically the same. 550B series. The values or the parameters as far as the frequencies and the gains are exactly the same. So they're exactly set up on the EQs. Okay. The compressors are different though. Each compressor section on each of these channel strips. Again, let me say that again. Each compressor on each of these channel strips are different. They're different in attack time. They're different in release time. They may be different on the threshold, and they all have their own unique character to it. You know what I'm saying? The difference is the compressor on the soft tube has a dry wet mix knob or a parallel knob. The Lindell series right here doesn't. And the API vision strip doesn't as well. Okay. All of them have this feed forward and feedback function. The Lindell says feedback and feed forward. Soft tube and UAD says new and old. Okay. So what I did was I just lit up on the Lindell. I just lit the feedback. I think the feedback is the newer version. So I just turned that on. Okay. So that's disclaimer. If I'm wrong, correct me if I'm wrong. All right. But it doesn't show you. It doesn't tell you on the manual. Let's go to the manual. Let's go to the manual for reference. All right. I don't want the YouTube trolls to come after me. We'll go back and forth with you. All right, man. I'm just fucking with y'all. So it says the feedback. The compression is based on a compressor output in feedback mode, FB, and on the compressor input in feed forward mode. But it doesn't tell you which one is new and which one is old. Okay. So just gonna use my intuition and know that what's lit up is gonna be new. Okay. What else is different is also in the compressor is, again, the attack and release times are definitely different. So you're gonna have different flavors of compression in between these three API channel strip emulations. Okay. All right. And I left the input gains by default. So whatever the default is at 0. The soft tube is at 0. And the UAD doesn't tell you what it is, so I just left it at 0. Because the UAD input gain knob is basically, it's really a mic pre. Okay, you utilize this right here, this gain knob when you're using it in Unison technology on the Unison preamp on the UAD interface. So I wouldn't necessarily call this an input knob, but I ain't gonna mess with it. Keep it at default. Lindell is at default, and the soft tube is at default on the input gain knob. Okay, so we are ready, set up and ready to go. The only other disclaimer as well, on the soft tube and the UAD on the compressor section, there's no makeup gain knob. So I'm not exactly sure if the soft tube and the UAD versions have a automatic gain compensation built inside, but on the Lindell 50 series, it's makeup gain manually. So that's gonna be another difference in the compression sound or the compression that you're gonna get out of these three channel strips. Okay, so let's get into the fun stuff, man, and get into this sound testing or whatnot. All right, cool deal, man. So let me go ahead and again, at the bottom, check out where I'm at on the mouse. The first plugin is going to be the Lindell. The second one is going to be the soft tube, and the third one is going to be the granddaddy of them all, the UAD vision strip. Are you ready? Yes, we are ready, man. Let's go ahead and turn up some volume and do a sound test and see which one of these bad boys stand true to the API sound. Let's go! All right, cool deal. Let me go ahead and set the master volume to 0. All right, cool deal. So we're going to be focusing on the drum bus. All right, the drum bus. This is the drum bus, folks. Blind test, everything like that. Blind test, folks. Y'all ready? I said, 1, 2, 3. Are you ready? Talk to me right now. Are you ready? I'm about to put the Lindell plug-in on. The first one is going to be the Lindell. Here we go. I'm going to let it loop over again. That's the Lindell right there. Next up is gonna be the soft tube. Woo! Loop over one more time. All right, next up is gonna be the UAD. Loop over one more time. All right, let me get this down for y'all. All right, y'all can see all those GUIs. Here we go. We're gonna go back to the Lindell. Soft tube. UAD. Lindell, soft tube, UAD, Lindell. Now I want you to pay attention to the meters. That's gonna let you know. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm gonna go real fast. Pay attention to the meters and see which one it's on. Here we go. All right, cool. Let's talk about it. Let's rest our ears, man. So we did a very good back and forth transition on it. I was switching it on my push 2 for as which ones are going to be enabled. If you don't know how to do that on your push 2, all you have to do really is you can hold down mute and press which plugin you want to enable or disable. But I have the mute on lock, and I was able to push each button through. I messed up one time, but you definitely probably heard the differences in it. So let's talk about the differences. So the Lindell, and let me play some music in the background and turn off all of these plugins, and you're just gonna hear the raw track in the background, y'all. Let me do this. All right, cool deal. Let's talk about the differences. All right. So let's talk about the Lindell, the feature plugin right here. It was really good, really good, really good. It kept the character of all of the 3 plugins. All of the 3 plugins had the API character, you know what I'm saying? That was true to what the UAD was doing. But the Lindell 50 series sounded a little darker. The low end was there, but it sounded like it wasn't clean. Sound real mushy, and the high end or the mid frequencies and the high frequencies sounded lackluster. It was there, but it was lackluster. And what I mean by lackluster is, you know what I'm saying, lackluster, what I mean by that is it was kind of, you know, it was missing something. You know what I'm saying? It was missing something. And it seemed like you had to either go in and push up or, you know what I'm saying, kind of like, okay, bring back some of the gain on the mid and low frequency, the mid and high frequencies or whatnot, but it seemed like it was lackluster. But the low end was there, but not pronounced. You know what I'm saying? It seemed like it was a little wobbly there. But I like the depth of it. The depth was pretty good. You know what I'm saying? So I would have to give the Lindell, I would have to give a Lindell on the A to F scale, between A to F. I have to give it a B minus. And it's not gonna get a C. I would give it a C, but I'm gonna give it a B minus because how the graphic user interface looks. But it kind of makes up for the graphic interface, but it loses all credibility on how the EQ curves sound. The compressors are nice. I played with the compressors. Yeah, they aggressive. But I don't think they focused enough on the EQs. You know what I'm saying? But who's to say what happens when you start cranking them up really, really loud? You know what I'm saying? We just doing little quick sound comparisons and stuff like that. So we have to dive in a little bit more or whatnot. But I have full confidence in what Plug-in Alliance do because they make good stuff. Okay. So I have to give it a B minus because it was lackluster between the soft tube and the UAD. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about the soft tube. The soft tube was in your face. Oh yeah, it was in your face. The mid frequencies definitely tunneled in on the mid frequencies and it put a little bit more in your face or whatnot. Again, seemed like the high frequencies only was lackluster. The low definition wasn't as strong as the Lindell 50 series, but it had a little bit more punch and was more defined on the low end. So the low end was more defined. The mid frequency was spot on, finito. But the high frequencies was a little bit lackluster. Okay, that's all I gotta say about that one. I love the depth of the plug-in. It was pretty good. It's pretty good. I can't complain. I can't complain not one bit. So it's pretty good. Different strokes, different folks or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? I like it because I like the soft tube because it integrates with my Console 1 controller. So if I want to be hands-on, I can pull that up and I don't have to, you know what I'm saying, go here and go there or whatnot. I have an API that I can put in my backpack, so to speak. So this is an API that I can put in my backpack with my soft tube Console 1 controller. Let's talk about the granddaddy, the big daddy. The UAD API Vision Strip was the best sounding one. The lows was defined. The mid-range was very clean and punchy and in your face. And the highs was so detailed but not harsh. And the sound depth was just perfect. You know what I'm saying? It was perfect. It was very, very perfect or whatnot, man. The night and day between the Lindell and the UAD, man, it was a difference. It really was. So without further ado, I crown the UAD API Vision king of the API console emulations, man. Out of all of them I ever tried in my 15 plus years of mixing, this bad boy right here is a motherfucker. It's a motherfucker. I love it on any and everything, man. But you know what I'm saying, it does have a high instance on your UAD cores, should I say, or whatnot. So the instances are high, but it's really, really good to track through. So if you have a UAD interface and you're utilizing this through as a unison channel strip or unison preamp channel strip or whatnot, this is really, 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 really good. You know what I'm saying? I don't care too much for the compressor when it comes to tracking. But you know what I'm saying, overall, this is really good. If you're gonna mix with this, make sure you have one of those little UAD DSP hubs or whatnot, man, so you can get the full effect of it. But this is king. The soft tube, I have to say, it sounds pretty good, but lackluster on the high end. And the Lindell, it kind of disappointed me on the mids and the highs as far as the EQ is concerned. But the compression, all the compressions on all three modules were pretty good, but the EQ kind of disappointed me on the high and the low, and the high and the mid frequencies. And I turned down the high frequencies, and I turned down the high frequencies at 7,000, and I turned down the low mid frequencies around 240 hertz. Okay, so you can really kind of hear a dirty sound, but still try to hear the high end detail. Your ears gotta reach for that high end detail, and it just disappointed me. I really was trying to down the soft tube because I don't know, it just doesn't look like an API plugin, but it sounds damn near there. The high end is lackluster, but you can always turn up high end no matter what. Our ears are just tuned to say more trouble, more trouble. You know what I'm saying? But this kind of disappointed me. But I already know, I have faith in it. It's probably something built in when you make the gain back up and you go into the positive gains on the EQ, you'll be all right and stuff like that. But the king of them all is the UAD, man. So let's go ahead and get rid of that. That was a quick sound test. So that's on the drums right there. We'll just go ahead and focus now on the Lindell 50 series and go ahead and mix this beat with this right here, man. So you're gonna get a full review of this plugin right here, man. So that's the plugin on. We're gonna go ahead and turn it up. All right, cool deal. That's the plugin on. We're gonna go ahead and bypass the plugin. So we wanted more of a dirty sound to this plugin right here. So that's our dirty sound towards this sound. And what I'm gonna do is go ahead and put it back in its default state, and I'll go ahead and I'm gonna keep my gains. Put that on default, on continuous. All right, cool deal. So that's the drums right there. We already know what the drums sound like. Let's go ahead and focus on another instrument right here utilizing the Lindell, and that would be the horn section. So those horns, they cool, they straight, but we about to test those mid and high frequencies on that EQ, man. And whatnot. I'm really rooting for it, and I hope they're not gonna disappoint me, man. So let's go ahead and drag that onto the horns. All right, so we're gonna work with the horns with the Lindell 50 series. By default, we're gonna pull up, and we're just gonna use everything default. We're just gonna change the parameters that's given to us. What I'm gonna do is pull up my master track. So I put it in solo to kind of identify what frequencies are sticking out. I don't like some of that low mid in there, so we're gonna scoop that out a little bit and bring up some of the high mid and high detail of this particular instrument. right, so let's stop. Let's reset our ears. Let's talk about the EQ moves that I made and whatnot. So I went back and I added a little bit of total harmonic distortion right here, about 2 dB of harmonic distortion drive. I drove those horns a little bit so we can get some gain into those horns. Now what I did was I scooped out low shelving at 200 hertz just to clean up those horns a little bit. Felt like it was a little bit too much weight on the horns. Got rid of that frequency I didn't like. It was I heard it around 500 hertz. And then definitely added some presence to those horns at about 5,000 hertz at a 2.5 dB gain, and then really made those horns, you know what I'm saying, be horns. You know what I'm saying? Make them horns talk. You know what I'm saying? No marching band horns. I put it at 7,000 hertz and high shelving at about 3.9 dB. And let's do a bypass on the EQ and see how they sound on and off. All right, this is gonna be with the EQ off in 5, 6, 7. Man, so that was the horns right there. We're gonna go back to the horns. Now we're gonna go ahead and focus on the compressor and try to see if we can compress the hell out of these horns. So compress them just a little bit. We don't need too much, but we want to tame the dynamics. You understand what I'm saying? So we're gonna go back to the horns and we're gonna go ahead and start compressing those horns at 5, 6, 7, and 8. Y'all notice the feed forward mode. The feed forward mode is smacking them horns. All right, cool deal. So let's refresh our ears or whatnot. So interesting on this compressor and horns. And normally I don't I compress horns, but you can't overbearing because the horn is a dynamic instrument. You want it to be prosperous. You know what I'm saying? You wanted the horn to do that. Me being a brass instrumentalist back in my heydays and stuff like that, playing on the collegiate level, man. Shout out to the Raging Cajun Band and all that other shit. Shout out to my high school, Northside High School. What's happening? Anyway, being a brass instrumentalist and stuff like that, you want your horns to be not so much controlled dynamically. So what I did was, I had to back off on the threshold just a little bit, just to get a good 2 dB of gain reduction, but not so much. All right. Again, the VCA compressor does not have a dry wet mix knob. Shame on y'all and stuff like that. So I noticed when I was pressing this in, it seemed like, I don't know what the fuck was going on, but that shit was sounding horrible. Check this out. Now I'm gonna engage that yellow button. Check this out. It almost like it's a filter, and it kind of cuffs the sound or whatnot. I won't be utilizing that anytime. The definition in the manual really doesn't. It's just so vague, man. But it don't sound good. So if it don't sound good, don't use it. If it sound good, go ahead and use it or whatnot, man. But we're gonna back off on those horns and the compression a little bit more. I heard something. So I backed off on the threshold even more. And what I was doing was, you see right here where my mouse is, I was turning that on, off. It was the solo. This is what I was trying to achieve. So this is without compression. All right, cool deal. I want to tame the dynamics just a tad bit and make the horns sound a little bit fatter. Off. On. They sound a little bit fatter, but if we was to compress a little bit more to try to quote unquote make them fatter, you're gonna lose the dynamics for us to attack on the trumpets, the attack on the saxophone, the attack on the trombone and stuff like that. So we had to be real careful with the threshold on this compressor because this motherfucker is aggressive. You understand what I'm saying? We don't need to do no gate, so we can take the gate off. All right, and throw that back in the mix. Turn those trumpets down a little bit. All right, we're gonna turn this plug-in off once more. I'm gonna turn it off. Here we go. And 6, 7, 8. And turn it back on. Yeah. All right, cool deal. So you heard how those horns really cut through with this plugin. I like what the API is doing on the mid range. So you can make it back up on the mid range, you dig, but that high end is still lacking something. It's not like it is on that API vision strip from UAD, man. It's like it's not there. It's not there, man. But hey, it's getting the job done, man. And yeah. But let's do this for fun. I got it set at 3.92. Let's drive it a little bit more and see if we can get what I'm trying to look for. It's like it's there, but you still have some type of high mid frequency there. It's not like an airy type of situation that I heard. Hell, the goddamn Slate version sound better on the high end than this one right here, to be honest with you. Mm-mm-mm. Interesting. Let's do this, folks. Let's do this. Put that back on 3.92. If I can get it there. All right, there we go. All right, 3.92. That's 3.92. 3.92. All right. If we go to B, all right, I'm gonna switch this to the 550A and see. Let's see here. I'm gonna go back to A. All right, so that's at 7,000. Let's put this on 7,000 and see what the high end does. All right. Oh my God, this is disappointing, man. Let's turn the compressor off on that one. Go back to this one. Turn the compressor and the gate off. Oh my God. Oh, hold on 1 second. I think I know what I did. So the 550A sounds a tad bit brighter, but then again, I do have it at 12 dB at 7,000. So let me bring it back to where this one is at on 3.2. Oh my God. This EQ is disappointing. Yeah, so the Lindell 50 series EQ is disappointing. Not enough high detail. Not enough trouble for me, man. It's not enough trouble, man. But hey, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. All right, cool deal. So we got that on the drums. And that was just on the drum bus, folks. That was just on the drum bus, all right? So last but not least, let's go ahead and create an audio track, and we're going to do a vocal test or whatnot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rap for you guys. I'm going to try to rap at least, bust a little freestyle for y'all, and give you a kind of like a gist of what the API Lindell 50 series will sound like on vocals, because I'm very, very picky about vocals and what the API does to them. So let's go ahead and bust a freestyle. We're going to throw this into monitor mode. You hear a double, but that's all right. We're going to bust a freestyle in 5, 4, 3, 2, We trying out the API. Came up through, man, I can't even lie. Yeah, the sound is lackluster and need more high end on that lackluster. We use 2 different type of EQs. I can't really lie, cause I need a EQ that be on that top end. Give me more treble, give me more treble. Oh yeah, I'm about to lose my damn words. About to come up through, about to be absurd. Yeah, I'm on YouTube giving y'all video content, cause I ain't content with myself, but I'm with myself. I'm by myself making this video by myself, and just as words is all over the place. And if you're laughing at me, nigga, fuck your face. Alright, we just clowning around, man. We just clowning around. So let's turn that off. Woo! Let's turn that off right there. We just doing demonstration purposes or whatnot. All right, cool. So we got that right there. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go ahead and turn that off. Put that back on one right there. All right, cool. So let's play that back. Our vocal or whatnot. Hey man, that might be the hit right there. You feel me? All right, so y'all see our vocal right there. We got some dynamics going on. So what we want to do right now, man, let's go ahead and drag that particular plugin back on there, man. Back on there right there. All right, cool deal. So we're going to mess with this with the vocals. Here we go. Actually, let's change the compressor. Okay, let's change a couple of things. Let's go. We already did mess with this 550s. Disappointing. 550s. Disappointing. Let's see what the 560 do with a FET style compressor on this bad boy. All right, and we're gonna turn that off. Put that on the second mode or zero mode, should I say? Keep that on. Turn off the gate and see what's up. We trying out the API. Came up through, man, I can't even lie. Yeah, the sound is lackluster and need more high end on that lackluster. We use two different type of EQs. I can't really lie, cause I need a EQ that be on that top end. Give me more treble, give me more treble. Oh yeah, I'm about to lose my damn words. About to come up through, about to be absurd. Yeah, I'm on YouTube giving y'all video content, cause I ain't content with myself, but I'm with myself. I'm by myself making this video by myself, and just as words is all over the place. And if you're laughing at me, nigga, fuck your face. We trying out the API. Came up through, man, I can't even lie. Okay, cool. So just messing with the input section, I noticed a difference once I started moving the total harmonic distortion. At about 2.8 dB, I heard some magic come through those vocals. We trying out the API. Came up through, man, I can't even lie. Yeah, the sound is lackluster and need more high end on that lackluster. We use two different type of EQs. I can't really lie, cause I need a EQ that. All right, cool deal. So it kind of brightened up those vocals just a tad bit, but it did some magic to the high mids. The high mid section of the vocal. I did a high pass at about 92 hertz, which goes really good with the graphic EQ. So we did a high pass at about 92 hertz, added about 2.6 dB of total harmonic distortion, and we added about 2.2 dB of gain. Now let's go ahead and focus in on the EQ. We trying out the API. Came up through, man, I can't even lie. Yeah. The sound is lackluster and need more high end on that lackluster. We use two different type of EQs. I can't really lie, cause I need a EQ that be on that top end. Give me more treble, give me oh yeah, I'm about to lose my damn words. About to come up through, about to be absurd. Yeah, I'm on YouTube giving y'all video content, cause I ain't content with myself, but I'm with myself. I'm by myself making this video by myself, and just as words is all over the place. And if you're laughing at me, nigga, fuck your face. We trying out the API. Came up through, man, I can't even lie. Yeah, the sound is lackluster and need more high end on that lackluster. We use two different type of EQs. I can't really lie, cause I need a EQ that be on that top end. Give me more treble, give me more treble. Oh yeah, I'm about to lose my damn words. About to come up through, about to be absurd. Yeah, I'm on YouTube giving y'all video content, cause I ain't content with myself, but I'm with myself. I'm by myself making this video by myself, and just as words is all over the place. And if you're laughing at me, nigga, fuck your face. We trying out the API. Came up through, man, I can't even lie. Yeah, the sound is lackluster and need more high end on that lackluster. We use two different type of EQs. I can't really lie, cause I need a EQ. All right, cool deal. So this EQ is very responsive. It's giving me that high end that I'm looking for on the 560 EQ. So the only frequency I had to back off on the 16,000 frequency band, because it was a little bit too bright there for your boy, man. Oh shoot. So the 8,000 band, I am at about 1 dB a gain, and then on the 4K band, I'm at about 2 dB a gain, and then I started bringing it down at 2K, brought it down at 1K below zero, scooped out some of that 500 hertz, and so forth and so on. We trying out the API. Came up through, man, I can't even lie. Yeah, the sound is lackluster. It need more high end on that lackluster. We use two different type of EQs. I can't really lie, cause I need a EQ that be on that top end. Give me more treble, give me more treble. Oh yeah, I'm about to lose my damn words. About to come up. So I brought back, to not make it sound so thin, I brought back some of that 63 hertz and 31 hertz. We trying out the API. Came up through, man, I can't even lie. Yeah, the sound is lackluster. It need more high end on that lackluster. We use two different type of EQs. I can't really lie, cause I need a EQ. So the 560, you know what I'm saying, my ears got to get used to what this EQ is doing, but I like what it's doing. It's giving me what I was looking for. And sad to say, it's coming out of the graphic EQ and not out of the the prop EQs. You know what I'm saying? I'm just shaking my head at these right here. Maybe I got to get used to it or whatnot, but this is giving me what I'm looking for out the gate. Let's go ahead and compress these vocals and see what we can get out of them. We trying out the API. Came up through, man, I can't even lie. Yeah, the sound is lackluster. It need more high end on that lackluster. We use two different type of EQs. I can't really lie, cause I need a EQ that be on that top end. Give me more treble, give me more treble. Oh yeah, I'm about to lose my damn words. About to come up through, about to be absurd. Yeah, I'm on YouTube, giving y'all video content, cause I ain't content with myself, but I'm with myself. I'm by myself, making this video by myself, and just as words is all over the place. And if you're laughing at me, nigga, fuck your face. We trying out the API. Came up through, man, I can't even lie. Yeah, the sound is lackluster. It need more high end on that lackluster. We use two different type of EQs. I can't really lie, cause I need a EQ that be on that top end. Give me more treble, give me more treble. Oh yeah, I'm about to lose my damn words. About to come up through, about to be absurd. So I like how I like how this compressor is reacting, but it's not giving me enough gain. It's like shit. It's like, oh Lord have mercy. It's like it's a lot of compression, but it's not a lot of compression. And when I start backing off on the mix knob, I start hearing more of the dry signal. So you're gonna get a lot of compression going on in the FET style compressor, but you have to back off on the mix. Nah, we trying out the API. Came up through, man, I can't even lie. Yeah, the sound is lackluster. It need more high end on that lackluster. We use two different type of EQs. I can't really lie, cause I need a EQ that be on that top end. Give me more treble, give me more treble. Oh yeah, All right, so what I did was did a high pass filter at about 92 hertz, and I got my dry wet mix knob at 82%. So yeah, you know, we only losing 20% of compression going on. We have it at a their version of a mid release at 0.5 seconds, 2-to-1 ratio, or whatnot, and we got the ceiling set at 2. We trying out the API. Came up through, man, I can't even lie. Yeah, the sound is lackluster. Now, notice when I was messing with the EQ, I turned down the gain on the fader, and I adjusted it back up when I was messing with the compressor. So right now we're at negative 8.5. I'm gonna bring it back up to 0 and see what happens. We trying out the API. Came up through, man, I can't even lie. Yeah, the sound is lackluster. It need more high end on that lackluster. We use two different type of EQs. I can't really lie, cause I need a EQ that be on that top end. Give me more treble, give me more treble. Oh yeah, so that's the plug-in bypass. So this is the plug-in bypass from the vocals. We trying out the API. Came up through, man, I can't even lie. This is with the plug-in on. We trying out the API. Came up through, man, I can't even lie. Off. Yeah, the sound is lackluster. It need more high end on that lackluster. We use two different type of EQs. I can't really lie, cause I need a EQ that be on that top end. Give me more treble, give me more treble. Oh yeah, I'm about to lose my damn words. All right, cool deal. So basically what you're seeing right now in the meter, even though I made up a lot of gain and I'm at like 2.2 decibels over zero, the meter's still showing that I need to make up my gain back up to what's coming into the plugin. Check this out. Look over here. We trying out the API. Came up through, man, I can't even lie. I'm about like 2 dB gain off according to the meter. So let's go ahead and turn on our channel fader and let's make up the gain. We trying out the API. Came up through, man, I can't even lie. Yeah, the sound is lackluster and need more high end on that lackluster. We use 2 different type of EQs. I can't really lie cause I need a EQ that be on that top end. Give me more treble, give me more treble. Oh yeah, oh, I'm about to lose my damn words. About to come up through, about to be absurd. Yeah, I'm on YouTube giving y'all video content cause I ain't content with myself, but I'm with myself. I'm by myself making this video by myself, and just as words is all over the place. And if you're laughing at me, nigga, fuck your face. We trying out the API. Came up through, man, I can't even lie. Yeah, the sound is lackluster and need more high end on that lackluster. We use 2 different type of EQs. I can't really lie cause I need a EQ that be on that top end. Give me more treble, give me more treble. Oh yeah, oh, I'm about to lose my damn words. About to come up through, about to be absurd. Yeah, I'm on YouTube giving y'all video content cause I ain't content with myself, but I'm with myself. I'm by myself making this video by myself, and just as words is all over the place. Laughing at me, nigga, fuck your face. One more thing I'ma do. We trying out the API. Came up through, man, I can't even lie. Yeah, the sound is lackluster and need more high end on that lackluster. We use 2 different type of EQs. I can't really lie cause I need a EQ that be on that top end. Give me more treble, give me more treble. Oh yeah, oh. All right, cool deal. We found something. Now you hear different variants and different shades of the vocal when we adjust the virtual channels up here. All right, so this little tape part right here, we had it on 1 and 2. Okay, when we had made an adjustment, we started hearing different flavors of the vocals. That's because the virtual channels are emulated per channel. I think they emulated 32 different channels on a given API console that they emulated, and we had different flavors. 28, 29 stuck out to me for the mix. We trying out the API. Came up through, man, I can't even lie. Yeah, the sound is lackluster and need more high end on that lackluster. We use 2 different type of EQs. I can't really lie cause I need a EQ. Okay, cool. And I brought back some of that mix knob back at 65%. So it's roughly getting half a compression and half dry vocals because this compressor is angry as fuck. That motherfucker is compressing the fuck out of this vocal or whatnot, man. It's got a very, very, very hard compressed sound to it. Yeah, it's all right. It's good. It's good. I'll stick to my 1176s, like the purple from plugging the lines and whatnot. But it's cool. It's straight. It adds a different character to the vocals. We trying out the API. Came up through, man, I can't even lie. Yeah, the sound is lackluster, but it does a good job for us matching the mood of the track and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's doing the job, but whatnot, man. Last but not least, we trying out the API. Let's add it on this beautiful piano right here, man. It's just like the piano is not there. So what we're gonna do is put the EQ in post. So the EQ is gonna go behind this compressor. So let's compress this damn piano to really bring out some characteristics on it as well. Here we go. To come up through, about to be absurd. Yeah, I'm on YouTube giving y'all video content cause I ain't content with myself, but I'm with myself. I'm by myself making this video by myself, and just as words is all over the place. And if you're laughing at me, nigga, fuck your face. We trying out the API. Came up through, man, I can't even lie. Yeah, the sound is lackluster and need more high end on that lackluster. All right, cool deal. So we got the compressor coming first. Let's go ahead and EQ this piano now. I'm not even gonna front with you. The 550 EQ suck on this. It sucks ass. Real talk. Cool deal. So what we did was we made our EQ moves on the EQ, brought down to 16K just a little bit, added a little bit more total harmonic distortion, did a high cut at about 73 hertz, brought up the overall volume on the channel strip just a little bit at about 1 dB. Making some changes on the faders. Let's go ahead and randomize the channels on this particular piano. All right, so channels 9 and 10 is really sticking out on this piano. Let's bring back that vocal. We use two different type of EQs. I can't really lie, cause I need an EQ that be on that top end. Give me more treble, give me more treble. Oh yeah, I'm about to lose my damn words. About to come up through, about to be absurd. Yeah, I'm on YouTube giving y'all video content, cause I ain't content with myself. But I'm with myself. I'm by myself making this video by myself. And just as words, it's all over the place. And if you're laughing at me, nigga, fuck your face. All right, we're gonna go ahead and pan the strings. All right, cool deal, man. That is it, man. Oh, one more thing I want to show you guys. So that is it right there. We added the Lindell on the drums, on the horns, and we recorded some bullshit ass vocal and added the Lindell on there just to see how that sounds. And also we added the Lindell on the piano keys parts right there. The EQ section, besides the 560, the 560 sounds pretty damn good. You know what I'm saying? The 550s sucks ass, man. It's like you made everything is good. I'm good with everything with the channel strip except the 550 EQs, man. They suck ass. Jesus, oh my God. You know what I'm saying? I ain't fucking with it, man. They suck ass. You know what I'm saying? So if you really want to bring out the high detail of the EQs and stuff like that, you probably need to use some type of enhancement type of plugin to bring out the highs utilizing this channel strip, especially if you're using the 550s, okay? All right, cool deal, man. So let's do one more thing. In addition of getting the Lindell 550 series, you also get this Lindell bus plugin or whatnot. It ain't nothing but a glorified Mojo type of plugin, okay? You can add more gain, or you can take away a little bit more gain, and also take advantage of total harmonic distortion. You got a cut button which will mute out the sound, some type of unity button that does the automatic gain compensation situation, and also you can take advantage of the different channels or whatnot. So if they have at the max 32 channels, okay, that's the 32 channels they emulated. We're gonna keep it on 31 and 32, saving the stereo mix at the end of the console. Just thinking this out for a second. Saving the mix at the end of the console, the 32 channel console. The stereo mix is going to come through 31 and 32. I have put this plugin on the stereo master track in Ableton Live. Let's check it out with the mix without it. So I'm going to turn the plugin off. Let's check it out. We trying out. Came up through, man, I can't even lie. Yeah, the sound is lackluster and need more high end on that lackluster. We use two different type of EQs. I can't really lie, cause I need a EQ that be on that top end. Give me more treble, give me more treble. Oh yeah, I'm about to lose my damn words. About to come up through, about to be absurd. Yeah, I'm on YouTube giving y'all video content, cause I ain't content with myself, but I'm with myself. I'm by myself making this video by myself, and just as words, it's all over the place. And if you're laughing at me, nigga, fuck your face. All right, that's the mix right there. Let's go ahead and turn this plugin on. Here we go. Right here. 5, 6, 7, and 8. Let's go ahead and add some total harmonic distortion. We trying out the API. Came up through, man, I can't even lie. Yeah, the sound is lackluster and need more high end on that lackluster. We use two different type of EQs. I can't really lie, cause I need a EQ that be on that top end. Give me more treble, give me more treble. Oh yeah, I'm about to lose my damn words. About to come up through, about to be absurd. Yeah, I'm on YouTube giving y'all video content, cause I ain't content with myself, but I'm with myself. I'm by myself making this video by myself, and just as words, it's all right. Here we go. We're gonna turn this plugin off right here. At me, nigga, fuck your face. All right, we're gonna turn it off. Here we go. 5, 6, 7. So the plugin is bypassed. Turn it back on. So I hear a little difference. Let's do a real test right quick. That's with the plugin on. So we're gonna go back, now bypass it. Here we go, bypass. So this plugin is pretty good. It's just giving you a little bit of salt on top of your food. You know what I'm saying? Turn it back on. A little bit of salt on top of your food. Turn it back off. And turn it back on. Yes, sir. I like it. Cool beans, man. That is gonna end it for this full review of Plugin Alliance Lindell 50 series, man. Let me give you my verdict. My verdict is, if you're new to what API is or what this channel strip does and what it can do and stuff like that, it's really good. You can get it. But if your ears are fixated and you know what API does and what it do, I wouldn't waste. This is probably have to be the first channel strip I'll be like, they need to fix something on this one. They've been hitting it on the nail with their channel strips. They put this out this was supposed to come out January 20th, and they put it out today, 8 days early. They should have waited the other 8 days to figure out the EQ problem. I have a big problem with the 550 EQs, the 550A and the 550B. The high detail is lacking, but it's in the 560. Okay, the high detail and the high mids that you want out of the EQ is in the 560 module, but it's not in the 560A and the 560B. So whenever they come and do an upgrade, I hope they upgrade the EQ section, because it sucks ass right now, bro. Sucks motherfucking ass. The fuck, man? Like, damn, bro. There's no high end in there. It's sad when I had, like, bro, if you have the virtual mix rack from Slate Digital, go look up the FGA EQ and crank up the highs on that EQ and go to this one right here. You're gonna notice a difference. It was sad. I was still reaching and searching. Ain't no way I should go past 6 dB on the high end, and I'm still trying to search for that high end. I don't know. Maybe it's my headphones or something like that. I don't know, man. But hey, go ahead and download the demo. Make sure you go on pluginalliance.com, man. You know what I'm saying? Get their subscription series, man. Demo before you buy this. This is the first time I say demo before you buy this. You know what I'm saying? If it works for you, it works for you. I have it. I'm going to make use of it. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to make use of it. But the EQ, I'll use that 560 all day, every day. I don't have no problem using the graphic EQ. But the 560A and B disappointed me. I ain't gonna lie to you. It disappointed me. And my mouth was salivating over those two modules, and they disappointed me, man. So I know some other people on YouTube gonna be reviewing this. I'm looking forward to Home Recording Made Easy. Shout out to him, man. I'm looking forward to that dude right there, man. I love his videos, man. I'm looking forward to see what he's gonna say about this plugin, man, because he said this was gonna come out on the 12th. But he said it's gonna come out on the 12th. We didn't know it was gonna release early. So I'm gonna go watch this video when he make that bad boy live, man. And I'm gonna get his details on it. But I don't like the high end on the 550 EQs. Plugin Alliance. Dirk. Get it right, Dirk. Get it right, Dirk Ulrich. Go to your team, go to your developers, and tell them y'all need to do an update ASAP, man. The high end is lacking detail, man. But everything else about the channel strip is straight, man. Make sure you go ahead and demo this plugin. Let me pull it up for you guys. It's straight. It's dope. It has a dope look to it. You get two plugins again. You get the channel strip and this mix bus situation right here, man. You know what I'm saying? Or whatnot. But the main part that you're paying for is the channel strip. I love the fact that you can switch in between different EQs and also two different compressor modules. So in essence, you are getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different processors in one channel strip, and looks like it's very light on the CPU. And that's what another thing I love about Plugin Alliance. They're light on the CPU, man. So definitely go check them out right there. This has been your boy Supa Mario, man. I have talked to you guys long enough, man. Hey, if you like this video content of everything that you saw, man, make sure you go ahead and subscribe right there, right there at the top. Yeah, there we go. Right there at the top. Your boy Supa Mario, man. Make sure you go ahead and follow, subscribe to this channel right here for all the exclusive video content of music production and, you know what I'm saying, mixing content for your leisure right now. My content is made for the people that don't know how, you know what I'm saying. It's not made for the people already, or you're trying to find the tricks and the tips or whatnot. It's made for the people that don't know how and stuff like that, man. But yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? Follow your boy. Make sure you follow me on Instagram as well at Supa Mario_producer on Instagram as well, man. You know what I'm saying? This has been a full review on the Lindell 50 series API console emulation from Plugin Alliance, man. This has been a good review right here. I'm definitely going to take use of it, but maybe it's just this track. I don't know. I got to try it on some other stuff, man. But the 550B, the 550A just disappointed me on the high end. The mid-range or the low end is okay, but it's kind of flabbergastic as well. The best processor out of this whole channel strip to me was this right here. When you move, it moved. And that's what API do. It's in your face. You know what I'm saying? But hey, it is what it is, man. This has been a full review. This has been your boy Supa Mario, man. Again, subscribe to my channel, Supa Mario. Hit the bell for the notifications, and we're gonna be on up out of here, man. If you like what you heard, go ahead and like this video as well, man. Your boy Supa Mario, man. I'm gonna let y'all jam out to this and let y'all check out that sorry ass goddamn freestyle I did, and we're gonna be out, man. Peace. We trying out. Came up through, man. I can't even lie. Yeah, the sound is lackluster. It need more high end on that lackluster. Two different type of EQs. I can't really lie, cause I need an EQ that be on that top end. Give me more treble, give me more treble. Oh yeah, I'm about to lose my damn words. About to come up through, about to be absurd. Yeah, I'm on YouTube giving y'all video content, cause I ain't content with myself. But I'm with myself. I'm by myself making this video by myself. And just as words, it's all over the place. And if you're laughing at me, nigga, fuck your face. We trying out. Man, y'all get up on out of here, man. We out.